Yes, 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 yes. Crazy Horse. You don't know that song, man. Don't act like you know that song. The definition, you don't know that song. The definition of wealth is defined as an abundance of valuable possessions or money. Or money. Man, that's about 8 videos. What is the definition of value? What is the definition of possession? And what does money mean? This right here is a chart. If I can get my cursor. What's going on, MFG? So we got job numbers. They are just too damn good. Too many people getting jobs, man. Pay increases. Fuck. You know what that means. Watch, they'll tell you.
Yeah, this is a hot number. It gives the Fed permission to keep increasing interest rates and also elongates that pause and moves out a pivot. And the question for next year is, what does this mean for the consumer and earnings and the chances of a recession? The longer Fed raises rates and keeps them high, the greater chances of a recession. That resilient consumer could start to fall apart. They're already dipping into their savings rates to spend. And then earnings, which are not realistic for 2023, also probably need to come down. So we're not surprised to see equities.
Man, she says you're dipping into your savings. Give me my mic, man. Are you guys dipping into your savings? Don't be dipping into your savings. Unless it's Christmas savings, because that would be the opposite of wealth. Wealth, the definition of wealth is an abundance, means more than you need, abundance of valuable possessions or money. So this is silver, the AGQ, triple leverage. This has been a trade we've been in. It's just cruising on up. I trimmed a little bit. RSI hit 70. So if you go back and check the newsletter, I trimmed a little bit here too. Well, I'm trimming a little bit here too. A little bit. Need some money, man. So, as I track the fractal pattern of the money flow in this, I'm not, you could just hold and accumulate silver. You could do that for sure. And you could also trade around the position. So when you have a nice move, you could downsize the position. If it wants to keep running, cool. Remember, when we took some off up here, if it wants to keep going, good, let it go. And this will stop for a minute and it'll work it off. You can see that. That's how price moves, man. And then it's either going to drop and go down or it's going to head back up. And fuck, I don't know. I don't know where anything's going. I just know value and I know time. And over time, price swings from below value to over value in most things. So this is silver we've been looking at, and it's broke out above the 20. It's pretty bullish, man. This thing could go on a run. We might be buying it again, up maybe up here, 33, 34. New stage 1 sets up. Like this game can play, and this can work its way up, man. So as traders, as investors, opportunity seekers, dirty capitalists, gambling on the price movement. We've been long nat gas. That has turned ugly on us. Let's check the UNG. Man. Looks like we're going to have to cut it. I was giving it a minute hoping it was going to turn around. It has not turned around. We're basically back where we got in. And we're getting the crossover. I might just cut this in half. I mean, this we bought in here is, and it stopped here before, is my only hesitancy. You know, that wasn't much of a run. Didn't get going. So, I don't know, man. Maybe we danced with the girl we came with. It's a pretty short little pattern there, man. The downside target is literally right here. And it's stopped there before and stopped there before. This is where we got our anchor point. Yeah. It is definitely, the momentum has changed. What's up, man? I hope everybody's doing well. We're looking at the UNG here, which is nat gas, and we had a buy signal. Now we're getting a sell signal. We're basically still in the same zone, though, man. If you've been with the trade for a minute, be careful. Sometimes if you're only looking at the trade from here, like if that's your judgment of the trade, it was once there, now it's here. It could set up and then run and be up here. And then it's like, okay, the money shots were here and here, not here. So over time, how we define a trade or how we look back on it can change. And my buddy Manny was live yesterday, and he was talking about an options trade that he had. And he paid pennies for them, and it went up, and he was up like 200 or 300% on the market turnaround the other day. Well, 200 or 300%, man, you take the money and go. Well, they were up another 7,000% the next day. So based on your time reference, depends on how much you like that trade. The day you had nothing, you liked it 200%. That was awesome. Then the next day, that 200% don't look quite the same when it's 7,000%. And that's the way it is in trading, man. Right now won't mean as much when we know a couple more days, right? We're still in that zone. So I'm not pulling the trigger yet. Check out oil, man. I've been waiting for oil stocks to sell off. But oil's setting up in a stage one here. I don't know if you know this or not, but oil's setting up, and let's see. We got an anchor point. What I didn't like, it didn't get extreme. Doesn't mean it's not a valid move. I don't like it. I wish it did. I wish it had came down more, and it didn't. And it actually stopped basically where it stopped before. It just stopped there again. And then it's gone up, boom. Yeah, this is stage one buy signal. And we're below the 200. Damn. Looks like it wants to run, man. Like these turns, Chastix is breaking out. Look at this, TSI's crossing. Come on, man, everybody's there but you. The wins, moving average convergence, divergence. This is the divergence, convergence. This is it, man. This is your moving average convergence, divergence, the MACD, right? This is where it's doing that. It's coming together. Moving averages are crossing, prices are bumping. Because you had such a swift move down, turn around by such a swift move up. Now everything's crossing. But price, where's price? Price is above the 5-day, above the 10-day. So over the last 2 weeks, price has put in a new high, right? So if we were to drop this down to a 1-hour chart, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, see it had its little move, right? Now, I'm not trading this on a 1 hour. So you don't want to mess yourself up. If 1 hour is not in your time frame, there's no reason to look at it. But you see on the 1 hour, you're kind of getting a sell signal. Right? Price is rolling over. But this is not a lot of room here. When you break this down, look at that. That's $1 or something. It's not a big move, right? Let's go back to the daily. Yeah? So you see how that reflects in time, right? So these little money flow cycles we're seeing here on a daily chart, when you take them down, it's fractal, right? Fractal's a never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. They're created by what? This ongoing feedback loop of price, man. So today oil is what? Down 1%. Okay, but price right now is above the 5-day and 10. We don't have a crossover. It hasn't broke out. It's pushing up there. But here's where we see, man. We'll see. Tomorrow will let us know for sure. I'm not in a trade with the actual commodity. We were long ERX, and I took the trade down. Remember, we took this down. Why would I take this down? Well, it was a trade. It's triple leveraged. And We had a beautiful run, and then it's rolling over, man. And if you go look at my pattern, that's this right here. Now, I don't know for sure until price closes underneath that 20-day. Now I'm like, well, there it is. Price is going down. And you're completing the pattern. You know, you had a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. And how far down is it going to go? I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, there's support pretty close. There's some a little bit further down. You could drop this down to a 1-hour chart, and I bet you had a different you had a different game going. Yeah, see, it's already heading down. Here's the problem, though. Even on this 1 hour, you got all these spots where price bounced. You know, see them? You got all these spots where price is bouncing off of it. You know. So it's like, is that something I want to short where it's been bouncing off this level? Maybe. If you're aggressive, you could get in there and get short oil right now. You know, a couple different ways you could do that. I mean, do you want to do that? That's been the hot stocks, right? Well, guess what? If people needed money, if they need profit, they could start selling them. Like, oh, ring the register, brings them down, right? And all that would be a money flow pattern. All that would be this. And yet it's just whatever drama isn't going on that day, that ongoing feedback loop of drama, going on. It's moving these things around. Where's Bitcoin? If anybody noticed, moving averages have crossed over. The 5-day, 10-day, 20-day are numerically aligned to the upside on Bitcoin. Bitcoin tried to break out. Its jobs number didn't help. I think if that would have came in right, this would have flew. You were looking at a $20,000 target. I don't know. We'll see. It definitely stopped. It definitely tried to break out here, and that's definitely our pattern. I got long some Ethereum. And that's a speculative play. I'm just thinking it goes up into here. And what would that be? That would just be a money flow pattern. It's just this, man. It's just price moving. It's not even a pro or against Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if it's oil, bonds, whatever. I'm just watching this movement here. I'm waiting for it to come in, come down, start to go sideways, get ready to run. And as it starts to do that, I want to be there, man. If it's something that I want to play. Now, if it's not something you want to play, you let it pass. And I sent out this thing that I was watching Delta Airlines real close. I would not normally add to a trade right here. But I think we're getting a little moving average convergence, divergence. We're getting indicators are rolling over and prices not going down. And it's set to rip, man. And if it rips, it could easily get up into the 41, 42. What makes trades work? They climb a wall of worry, man. So that's what makes it work. We'll see. Like I said, I don't normally press a trade after I had such a easy stage one down here, man. But it's definitely undervalued. What do we think Delta's worth? The only reason I preface this is as it's not the best setup, but the stock is still like 40% undervalued. And if you get a stock that's that undervalued, you may not realistically get a $28 shot. Like you know what I mean? Like maybe, I don't know, or maybe it goes on a 2-3 year run. 35, runs up to 42, back down to 38, runs up to 52, back down to 35, back up, never goes back to 28. And so, if you think you have a situation like that, then your stage 1-3s, if you think it's going to keep going, if it's still significantly undervalued, I don't necessarily trim into here. I might let it set up and then add into that so that now on the next leg up, this 3 becomes a 1. But the only way that happens is if this is a valuable thing. So stage 1, we ran up into a 2, and then we went 3. Think, well, if you come back down, it would be down here. Yeah, if we do. But this thing is significantly undervalued, and the indicators are rolling over. I don't know. I really don't fucking know. I don't know. I know there's a lot of people, 55,000 people that work for Delta or whatever the number is. I own the shares for many years. I bought it a lot lower and I bought it higher. Collected dividends when they were paying it, and I trade it now that I'm in it, and I've been in this one for a lot of years. So Delta Airlines is just part of my fucking life. And when this thing is significantly undervalued, I want to buy some. Remember when Warren Buffett was selling it? What a great opportunity. You don't often get to say that in life. You don't often get to say, hey, when the richest man in the world was selling his shit, I was buying it. And now I'm up. You don't get to say that much, man, but you did get to say it recently. Look at this. Look over here. It went all the way to $20. Your daddy wasn't buying, though. Your mama and daddy were scared. They weren't buying. They didn't even know about it. They don't even have a brokerage account, probably. So it's over here, and yeah, you know. Look at $20, man. Look at that. Look how high it ran. And if you guys remember over here, it was in like the $24 range. I remember this clear as can be. The rest of the market was running. And Delta couldn't get going. And then it came out that Warren Buffett was selling his shares. The guy who's famous for saying buy when things are on sale was selling his shares. And there's a story behind it. You probably don't know it. But if you're a stock nerd like myself, you'll know why he sold out. I didn't know about this till a while back, the real reason. Do you know the real reason that Warren Buffett sold his Delta shares? Do you? I bet you don't. Bet you don't. If you don't, buy my book. Means you don't know what I know. No, I'm not even going to tell you, man. You need to find out on your own, man. Go find out, why did Warren Buffett sell his shares of Delta Airlines? Is it because he was scared? Every other recession, he's in there buying shit. This time he was scared. Oh, they're never going to recover. Isn't that what he said? And they went straight up, ran to like $50. So we were in there buying it. Why? Stage 1 stock that we own. Ha. So that's a good thing over time. All you got to do is go back and look, man. You can go back. I was talking to some guy. He was saying something about, well, how do you know that's, I'm like, look, man, I don't know that. Here's what I know. I was like, go over here, go to this page and look on there. And then go to like where you see me on Instagram, YouTube for years now. And I'm like, hey, this is a stage 1. Buy this here. You know, if you've been doing that for 12 years, like I've been doing, you've accumulated a lot of shares that pay you dividends. I post those. And then they give you money, and you can take that money and buy more of this shit. And if you start doing that through the process of compounding, what if you were doing 5,000 a month? Man, all of a sudden you just got all this dividends. Like, this is a real thing. There's people that really do that. So, and everybody here is going to have troubles. Some of these stocks, look at AG&C, guys. Look at this. I had a kid tell me, oh, these are net losers. Okay. Yeah, depending on your time frame or when you bought them, they could be net losers. But because he didn't own any at the time, right? He didn't own any. So I'm like, well, if typically it's a net loser, after it went really, 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 really far down, wouldn't that be a good place to buy some? So that when it went up, you're actually a net winner. So if he bought stage 1s, when he was arguing with me, he's actually a winner, unless I misunderstand how this works. His shit went from $7.50 to $9.90, and he's getting a dividend, the exact fucking opposite of what he told me happens. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you go, he's like, yeah, but over time, these have deteriorated. Yeah, but over time, I didn't pay the highest price, right? You can wait for setups, man. So you could be watching something. It could be a declining market. If you can get it for the right price, it's valuable. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be as valuable as it used to be. Like houses could come down. Okay, this is the new number. This is the new number we're playing with. So on this day, that was the number for AG&C. And they said, hey, we'll give you a 15% dividend as long as we're in business or can afford to pay it on this day right here. Your daddy didn't buy none. Your mama didn't buy none. None of your friends did. Nobody you know did. Now, I sent a text to all my friends right here and said, hey, buy this. Buy some because I love you. Buy this. Stage 1. It's about to break out. Buy some of that. And that'll go up. And if that doesn't, what if that doesn't go below, I don't know, I'm just saying, what if it doesn't go below that number for the next 2-3 years? Next 2 or 3 years, what if it never goes below this number? How do you quantify that return? I know how normal math does it. I know how people normally do it. Well, let's say you had $7,750 and you bought on the stage 1, and this is all you've ever done. And now it's worth $9,900 and they're paying you money. Well, if somebody, I had a guy argue with me, he could not understand this, that the dividend yield is calculated from right here. Meaning if you buy it today, this is your dividend yield. But you didn't buy it today. You bought it here. Your dividend is much higher than the guy buying it today. Not only that, but you're up. Your position is grown. And the dividend exponentially will grow because as they give you more shares and you buy more shares, it would grow exponentially. Now, but here's the thing. If you collect dividends up here, you're paying more for the shares, right? Maybe you find somewhere else to put them. Maybe you only buy these when they're on sale, and the rest of the time you just collect the cash and you look for better shit to put it in. And then you just have a little cash machine that just throws you fucking cash. I don't know why that's a hard concept for people to get. And so if you got a couple 100,000 in there just throwing you money, you can take that money and buy whatever, Bitcoin, Lyft, right? You buy more shares of this. I'm not paying for this. I don't want any. This is too expensive now. Look, RSI 70. That's not what I want to buy. So now I would just hold it and just let it drift and you just keep paying me money. The only time I give a shit is when it goes down and then stops. And so as an investor, I'm just watching this on all those stocks over there. And I got it. Some of them come in, they're ride or die, man. Like we're with Ford, man. Like, oh, Ford's doing terrible. I know. What makes it work is it's a portfolio. And so, yeah, you're going to fuck up. You're going to pick the wrong stock. The way we protect ourselves is diversifying. Same in trading, man. Trade different things, look for different setups. I mean, this dude. What is the dividend on this? Hold on. I remember that argument. I wonder if that kid will go back and see our conversation. He's like, well, mortgage rates have deteriorated as an asset. I'm like, yeah. What does that have to do with you right now? What do you think? And he goes, well, it's undervalued. Well, buy some. Yeah, but over time, but you're not paying that price, bro. So the monthly dividend's 14% right now, today. It was like 15, 16 down here. Now it's 14, right? Now everybody likes it. I'm looking at the thing here. That's the advantage when we get in the flow, meaning me and you. And you can see this flow here. Look at this. Where it's down, and then we would say there's our I'm just gonna pretend like you know what I'm doing here. Anchor, buy, breakout, right? Stage 4 decline. Jesus. Did we get an anchor? That technically, by the count, would have been an anchor, but you know the way I feel about these. That is not the setup you're looking for. Moving average convergence, divergence. When your indicators come together, when you have movement, you have oscillators, like the relative strength index is an oscillator, and it can keep going. It's just measuring the last 14 days of price, but it's velocity. So the faster price moves, the more it extends the indicator. Typically, you get whip-back effects. Some people call that shit reversion to the means, whatever. And price tends to go too far one way, stop, sideways, go the other way, too far that way, and it does some sort of a trend. And I believe that's fractal in nature, meaning You see it on a 5-minute chart. You see it on a 1-hour chart. Not every chart's exactly right, but you'll start to see the fractal nature of price movement. That's what this is. And you'll see it, and it'll move. And it's not as clear all the time, but as we back up in time, it gets real clear. Like I know exactly where the bottom was now, right? And so as I draw the pattern backwards, I'm always looking for what is the pattern. And I'd be expecting it now. It's probably rolling over, right? Momentum's to the downside. Things are moving. Doesn't mean it's got to go down, but it's got to work this off every time it bangs it. So what we can do with that information is now we put it into our buy and sell inputs, right? So I want to be the kind of guy that sells shit that has 70 RSIs. Not all the time, not every sell, but as the general rule, that's when I want to be a seller. And this is when I want to be a buyer. But on the top and the bottom, the setup looks the same. The candle count's the same. Apex point anchor. And all I'm trying to do is draw out the pattern, man. Come on, man.
Trading down on this. I think that, from here, it's going to be in a trading range for equities and likely more downside given where we are and the optimism that we've seen on peak inflation.
Yeah, there has been some, Betsy, and we've got OPEC and some of those problems, but there are places where
Betsy says it's
where
going
gas
down.
prices are below $3 now, and we know where mortgage rates are, and we know where housing prices. Are all those things meaningless if the labor market stays this strong? That's what the Fed has to be wary of.
I don't think that they're meaningless at all. What the Fed has to be worried about is it's the wage number in here that's going to be a little bit concerning. Are employers trying to hire people that just aren't showing up? I don't know that I would interpret.
She doesn't know shit. Who is that? Well, Dane, I'm reporting here from my back porch. That lady doesn't know shit about the money flow. Who was this person? All right, maybe I take that back. She does have 3 books in the background. We don't know who she is. She doesn't trade shit. So I don't know who that expert is talking about. But we do know this is in a stage 3. These had run up. This is starting to form a possible stage 3. So as we start digging through our stocks, somebody's going to hit me up and be like, hey, man, I don't appreciate you talking about my aunt like that. She's a big fan of yours. And my whole family likes you. And on your live, you called her a... And I'll be like, I did that? Let me see. I didn't mean to. I like alt here. I'm going to do a little run through some shit that I like. I'm just kidding, man. I know that lady's killing it. She's a good trader, I'm sure. Girls are better traders than boys. You ever hear that? Mm-hmm. What girl? Delta. What girl? Did I get him riled up? Where's Curvy, man? Let's see. I'm expecting Delta to break out. Where's the SPY? I'm just teasing. SPY's fixing to go. Look, dude, they say the market's going down. Market's going up. I hate to tell you this. Price is above the 5-day moving average. Linda, whatever her name was. Look at where price is. It's above the 5-day. There's the 10-day. There's the 20. Everything's pointing up. RSI's not even extreme. Indicators are still bullish. And momentum's come down a little bit. That is it. This little bit here. Linda's trying to get you out of your stocks, man. I know women are better traders. I'm just kidding. Somebody sent me a text. I know. I'm just teasing. The definition of wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions. This is the S&P 500. No bullshit aside. This is one of the most valuable possessions on planet Earth. If you have millions of dollars in this right here, you can stay a millionaire your entire life if you're not, a complete dipshit. If you just live off the money it makes you. This right here has earned an average of 9%, and depending on your time frame, if you go back 30 years, it's like 11%, annual return. So there is tons and tons and tons and tons of millions and billions and trillions of dollars inside of this thing here. Look, volume 49 million. It's at $405. 49 million. This is one of the most traded things on planet Earth, the S&P 500. If you were to store millions of dollars in there, your family stays a millionaire. Like, you have to understand this. This is the benchmark in which all investments, all trades are measured against. If you can't beat this doing nothing, meaning you just put your money in here and you just sit on it and it goes up, in my opinion, 90% a year. Some people's 11, some people's 7. We're all starting from a different time frame. Then there's no point in doing the investment you're going to do. You just put your money in this. And so this is what we're trying to beat. This is the win. This is general consensus of all stocks. So right now, the stock market is above the 200-day moving average. That is a good sign. Right now, it is above the 5-day exponential moving average. That is a really good sign. It is above the 10. They're all numerically aligned to the upside. The RSI is not extended, and there is a fucking target right above us. But you can't see that if you're a perma-bear. If you trade scared, if you always see the negative, always waiting for the floor to drop out. Got to be an opportunist, man. Why has it got to go down? Because Mary said so? What is this lady's name, man?
The decline in the labor force participation as a sense that workers aren't showing up and there's a lot of demand for jobs. You know, the household survey is surveying households and asking them what's going on. And then the employer survey is asking employers what's going on. And what we see in the household survey is fewer people said they were employed, right? There's a negative number in the household survey telling us that there were fewer jobs, fewer people holding jobs in November compared to October. And then we get this really robust number in the employer survey.
Because nobody knows shit. That's why. Did you hear what she just said? She just said, all evidence points to global collapse, recession, millions will starve to death and die, all of the water will be polluted, and we will all suffer, and your children will probably not be able to read in the coming recession. The housing crisis will be unlike any you have ever seen. Have you heard this? You guys ain't heard that? This will be like, this is the big one, Susie. It's the big one. This is the one that's going to take you all out, man. I hope you have some silver and water tabs. I mean, I see gurus talking like that. It's going to be the greatest housing crisis you've ever seen. It's like, really? Because I lived through 2008. That was way fucking worse. Let me let you in on it. Nobody had jobs. Everywhere I go, I'm waiting. And I'm like, hey, why is it so long? You're like, oh, we can't find anybody to work. Now the job thing says everybody's working. So, apparently nobody knows shit. That is at the core of my philosophy. Nobody knows anything. Me, nobody. But I do know what price does, and it moves. And that's what the money flow is about. And I do know that over time, things go higher. Like, let's get off of alt for a second. I like this as a swing trade, by the way, alt. If we back this SPY up, man, look at the weekly. We're breaking out in a stage 2 breakout on the weekly. I got friends trying to short it. I'm like, apparently you have never watched a fucking video I've done. This fractal, man. This thing is breaking out, dude. Curvy, you missed it. I was making fun of female traders, and now you show up? Now it's not even fun anymore. I got friends shorting a stage 2 breakout on the weekly. Pillar number 10, see the big picture. That looks like it's going up. Maybe not. We'll see. I could totally be wrong, but that looks like a crossover. And we go at least to the previous high is where it would be my target. Maybe not. I don't know, man. But it is breaking out on the weekly. I had a long conversation with the guy that works on Wall Street. Let's see tonight. A man on YouTube says, "See you tonight, Ace Hotel Pool Tiki Bar." You won't see me. I don't go tiki bars, man. I'll let you know that now. Are we back to heckle, man? Is that what we're doing? You going back to YouTube? Hold on, I'm just putting something up here, man. Hey, if you don't have my free ebook, hit the link. If you're new to stocks, hit the link and start there, man. Hold on, man. I gotta pin a comment, man. I'm guessing this person. I don't know why the hecklers. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to block that person. I hate blocking people, man, because sometimes it's just somebody playing around, and it's like, bro, you play around the wrong way, you're just gonna get blocked. The fractal's a never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. So this is breaking out. We'll see on the weekly. There's a lot of stocks breaking out on the weekly chart. If you back up, that are hitting a little resistance right now, which is how the fractal pattern of time as it would play out from a weekly to a daily to an hourly, right? You would see the money flow patterns being on the different time frames. And if the weekly's true, we're going to go higher, then this is going to pause here, maybe pull back a little and run higher. But I'm very bullish right now. And have remained that way. I'm all in. I have no hedges on. I started doing a little content on short selling, just let people know how it's done, but everything is going up, man. You got the Qs. The Qs are still above the 5, the 10, the 20. Everything's pointing up, still below the 200. It's not overbought. Nowhere near on the RSI, man. Plenty of room to the upside. Man, why you got to be so negative, man? Let's go long, baby. The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. That was a funny video, man. Somebody sent me that with on one side it was fuck around, on the other side it was find out. And I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know if I just got a weird sense of humor, but that shit was hilarious. I would love to be in a classroom with like 8th graders. And you're doing that. Do like a 15-minute lecture to finally get to that. Yep, that's it, man. Oh shit, I was running through some, wasn't I? I got sidetracked. I run 4 different portfolios the way I have my shit structured. So a lot of times around lunchtime, I'll kind of just do this. You know, each account I got different money for whatever reason. As I put money in, there are different types of account, buying, hold, trading. So trading, I'm probably in and out of there a lot. And I'll just go through scanning. And these are either ones I'm in or I'm in a lot, right? Well, this is actually buy and hold account here. And the names of the tickers don't so much matter right now, but I'll call them off. That's Conoco. Remember, I've been saying that oil itself is setting back up into a new stage 1, and now oil stocks are selling off. They've had this weird disconnect from each other. Oil was going down, oil stocks went up. Now oil's starting to go up, oil stocks are coming down. I don't know if you've noticed that. Very weird disconnect. Cisco, nice. We had a beautiful stage 1 down here. Nice run up. This was a bread and butter trade setup. If you're inside the Money Flow gang, go to our Discord channel, Bread and Butter. It's this, you know. And so I'm constantly scanning the Dow 30 to look for these setups where prices come way below that 200. It's a dividend stock. It sets up. Those are just easy. You don't need a filter. You can just flip through the Dow 30 on your own and look for them, man. Cisco, so you get paid a dividend. So this is a trade where you were buying, what did we say the definition of wealth was? An abundance of valuable possessions or money. Like this, you were trading wealth. This is a share in Cisco, the company. They pay a dividend. It's just wealth. Like Microsoft is just wealth, you know? And you can trade and flip that, like you can trade and flip a house, and you can look for this setup. And one of the things I love about this bread and butter, if you have a lot of money, is the things you're picking up are going to pay you to wait on the trade, on the flip. And as they come up, I'm taking them down if I'm trading that strategy. And obviously that's not buy and hold. That's a trade. I called it bread and butter, and I would do a lot of them. We have one going in. This is one I've been talking about. This is going to $44 cube. So down here, this is another 4% dividend yield. These stage ones, you're accumulating wealth with a target of selling it or flipping it. When you do that, you're going to create what? Profits, not income, profits. The dividend they pay you along the way is dividend income. I'm doing a video on this today, the difference between wealth, profits, income, interest, cash flow, right? Their difference depends on how it's classified on your taxes. So if we're rolling around in some big numbers, you pick up $38,000 trade here, you're trying to turn 38 into 45, and hopefully it does it nice and slow, and it takes 3-4 months, and then it hits. And then what? Well, I make $4 or $5 grand on that, plus I collected 2-3 dividends, maybe 1 dividend. You get what I'm saying? So as I watch these valuable things, these wealthy things, and in my free book, You Don't Die Broke, I talk about the things that the richest families in America do. Your parents don't know shit about A, G, and C. Right? Do they? Do they know a lot about REITs? No, man. But rich people do. Who do you think buys all this shit? Funds, family offices, big corporations. Shit, they're in there buying it. Why? Because they're trying to stay rich, man. But average people, they don't know about this stuff, man. Look at this. Here's another one. Dow. Here's another one. Dow. We got a whole book on this. I need to come out with the book. That this is the easiest. I don't even know you can say the word safest, but in my opinion, safest. Especially if they're dogs of the Dow. Like if you spend the rest of your life and every time the dogs of the Dow are below this 200-day line, you start aggressively fucking buying them. You will be a wealthy person. Because when they get this far down from here to here, they get pulled back to that line. And I'm surprised somebody ain't tried to. Look at this. Look what happened when it was Walmart. Big sell-off below the yellow line, go sideways. There's our breakout. What happens? Bam. Now, if you're tracking 100 of these stocks and you're just flipping through your charts, you're looking for this, man, right? And then you're starting to what? Watch for the stage one. And then what? You're going to build it out. Well, how many of those can you have going? Shit, I don't know, 10, 20, 30. I don't know. What can your brain comprehend? So here's one we're doing right now in D. DD. Oh, you guys like that. We've had 2 buy spots at this. This one, and it started to run and didn't. So in this game, when it comes down, bring it down. We're going to nibble on this one too. Shit, take 2 or 3 months. I got nothing but time. Anywhere up in here is good with me. Let's bring it down a little bit. Over in here, I'm not greedy. So as time goes on, this line comes down. That's our target. And if I can add a few more times, and then they're going to throw me off some dividends, they're going to hit that. It's going to get pulled, man. It gets pulled to it. It gets pulled to it. Let's go. Let's find a harder one. Now you're like, well, and here's the thing. You don't go all in on one, dude, because they could have some actual damn problems that we don't know about yet. Like maybe they can't fix the problem. Most of the people that work at these companies are smarter than me and you. Seriously. They went to Wharton Business School. These are not normal people. People that run this company don't take 140 fucking days off a year, 2 family trips out to visit. They don't do that. These are the people sleeping at work, running these corporations. They want to make money, and they own a bunch of shares. Like, and rich people own this shit, man. So they're going to try to fix this if they can. We did one like this. I don't know if you guys remember how long you've been in the. We've been doing. Money Flow Gang's been doing these for a minute, man. FE was one. years back, we've been on this one for a couple years. Everyone's got to be up big on this one. Back in the day, in the 2020, you remember those days? We had a real problem. And they got caught up in some fraud shit. And then, here's the beautiful thing. Stay with me, man. Oh, man, a lot of people have come and gone and lost me since then. Stay with me, though. I want to show you how this works over time, baby. This is when we started playing it, and it was super undervalued. It's worth about $50. It fell to about 36. It's underneath that golden line. I'm on a weekly. And then what happened? We all caught the flu. And like everybody other stock, it went down. What? Money flow rules apply. We keep buying it. Stage 1, man. That's the game. We're trying to get back to that 200. Actually, on that one, we were playing for true value, which was $50. Now, so we've had 2 grand opportunities, and we've had a couple more along the way. If you were getting on the train, I'd be like, I'm not buying FE here, but if I was you, I would. And you're like, why didn't you do it? I bought it way back here. I don't need it. Because I've been doing it every fucking day. Every day. Decade. Go back. Doing it. Another 5 years. Doing it. All the way back till it's dial up. They let you dial up. And I'm like, hey, man, can I get some pork bellies? That's what I started buying first. And watching price, man. And just knowing one thing, these stocks go up over time. The reason I buy a bunch is sometimes some of them fuck up and they don't go up. Some things just happen. You have black swan, shit goes bad. You might have bought Enron and it did great for a few and then it didn't. So we don't have one stock, man. I've had 3 stocks go to 0. 3, 0. I got 2 more right now. It looked like they might go to 0. You know, we'll see. Hopefully not. But I've had plenty that went up 500, 1,000%. Okay. So if you're watching this, we've had a lot of time, man. 2 years in people's lives to accumulate on this. This is a utility stock out of Ohio. Just throws off a fat dividend. Now here we are, man. All we got to do is stay with it. It ain't going nowhere. And these stocks, they just keep coming to you. Look at FedEx. Remember, they had problems. Remember this? My God, this looks like, come on, right out of the book. Boom. What do we talk about? We don't even get interested in this shit till it starts to go sideways. It's right there. You can't pick bottoms, Gerald. No, you can't pick bottoms. I can. I can pick all of them. It only takes 4 bars. All I need is the lowest low. I know that because the next day goes up, next day up, up, and then it's over the 5. And then I know, okay, this is most likely the bottom. Matter of fact, we could trade against if we wanted. We could have a stop loss right here. If you hit my stop, get me out. Otherwise, just, I'm in. Now it's a stage 2. At some point, you're going to move your stop up. But what? You're probably going to be trimming some if you were trading it. Oh, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Right? But this thing hits a lot of different things. You're like, what do you mean? Well, it hits it's also a bread and butter trade. Right? Okay. It's also what? Probably a lot of action in here for day traders and scalpers. Look how it's been moving, man. All you had to do was observe it. I know Curvy's been observing it. She was talking about it. A lot of people were talking about it. But remember, I don't want it here, right? I don't give a fuck about it there. It's here. I need a bottom, an anchor. A couple days, it holds. Price is above the 5. It's valuable. How do I know it's valuable? I don't know. You need to understand value, man. You need to understand value. An easy way is if it's below the yellow line. The second way, go a little deeper. So as soon as it was under the yellow line and it's FedEx, you go, what do you think about it? Let's say you met me at a bar in New Orleans, like this weirdo here says they're going to meet me. It's almost like a thread, bro. Someone comes up and says a bar by your house and describes it. What an odd thing to do, man. What an odd thing to do. So we start to move sideways. And what? Perfect run up. Keep going, get our stage 3, and we'll turn, come down. But see how we traded that? That's the money flow, man. And we know these got to come together. Man, this one was so easy. What is the dividend on FedEx, man? I didn't play it, man. I had other things, but obviously mistake, I guess. So, okay, it's only at an 18% discount. As this shrinks in, man, as this shrinks in, you got to ask yourself, you know, do I need to take some off? Definitely don't want to be buying it. I don't want to buy stocks that are fair value. It's like buying a house fair value. Fuck that. I'll keep it. I'll own it. I don't want to buy anymore. And you're like, what if I'm still underwater? So what? Stay underwater. You get another shot. Next time it pulls down on the next stage one. Now that stage one may be higher, meaning price may be up. That's fine. Let that happen organically. Meaning on the threes, we don't know what the price is going to be. And on the ones, we don't know what the price is going to be. The only person that thinks that matters is you. Because you're looking at it from what you paid for it, not what it is. Or do you? I hope you found enlightenment. That's the Buddhist shit of stocks, man. You want to be a Jedi? That's it. What you paid for it doesn't mean shit. Enlightened thought. You just received it, man. It was written. That's the stuff that the common person doesn't get. The average man, the average lady, they don't get what I just said there. They think there's value in what they paid for something. We don't give a shit, man. Nobody here cares. I don't give a shit where you bought any stocks, and you don't care where I bought them, because it don't matter. It has nothing to do with the actual value of the company or the sales or the profits or the industry they're in. It has nothing to do with nothing. It only means something to you. But each day, what we should do is not look at where we paid for it. Look at it and say, is this thing valuable? Is it? And if it's no, even if you paid more, cut it, call it. I'm out. This is not a good deal. I've explained this to people in real estate. It's like, well, what if you get a bad one? Sell it. It's not your wife. If you get into a real estate thing and it's not working, sell it. You could take a loss, right? It also lets you know that, like, hey, I can actually try this. I can move in and out, right? 180. Nice move in that, though, man. Yeah, don't think about where you got it. You got it today. In other words, play the hand you're dealt. If it was a bad idea now, don't keep it because you bought it last week. I mean, it's still a bad idea. It's a bad idea, bad idea, bad idea. If it's a good idea and you're in one, then cool, stay with it. It's a good idea. Now I can get it for a little bit cheaper. So that's why it's important that not only if we're trading to determine our time frame, but if we're investing to determine our time frame, which for me is like life. I mean, they get a lot of fucking wiggle room. I don't really get too worried about a buy and hold position. We kind of get married when they come in. So I'll give you an example. Like here's one that hasn't worked for a while. Hasbro. I mean, this has basically gone down since I bought it. Right now, the big girl ain't sung yet. Right? I mean, I was underwater for almost 3 years in Campbell's soup. Now look at you. What's up now with the big soup? And the only reason that 53 even means something is I bought a lot of it in the 35s and the 41s and you get what I'm saying? And so it's not that I got in last week for a little dip and had a run up. It's that I've been adding to it for years. You know, Starbucks is one of those too, man. The reason it looks pretty good at 104, I sent this one to Dan too. When I first met Dan, Campfire Real Estate, he was like, hey man, send me some stock tips. And I was like, man, you ain't gonna be able to execute on them. What do you mean? I'm gonna send them to you every day, bro. You're gonna be like, I can't do this. This is too much. Most people that meet me like, I can't. This is fucking chaos, dude. It's every day. Boom, 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 boom. Every day, man. Moving, adding, trimming, buying, selling, trimming, buying, moving, adding. Every day. And first reaction typically is, come on, man. Why you make me put you in timeout, man? I gotta hire some phone operators over here, man. You're on line one, but no, seriously, on what makes 104, really nice on Starbucks. Is I committed to Starbucks like 7 years ago. Me and Starbucks became business partners. And for the last 7, 8 years, I've been investing money in stage ones on Starbucks. And when the news was bad, I'd buy Starbucks. And it was just one position of a lot of positions. And this is one. And they were $50 at the time. Well, shit, the ones I bought for 50 doubled, you know. So every time it was, I only bought 3 shares. Well, shit, it's worth 6 now, right? And so if you have this going on, man, that's honestly how I grew my wealth in stocks. But I told him, I was like, all right, well, let me just give you a pick or two. Don't let me text them to you because it'll be too much for you, sir. 104. I think I got him over here, way below the 200 day on those stage ones. And I'm like, Dan, get yourself some Starbucks. There we go. That's how you should be treating your friends, man. How come every time I come to your house, I don't leave with no good stock tips? You're supposed to buy me beer, man. Give me stock tips, man. When I come around you got to give me a couple ideas. Give me at least 3 or 4 that'll get me 10, 12% cash flow. You should always have 2 or 3 of those on your tongue. So when you're talking to people and they're like, oh, man, I don't know how you get a return. Man, I got like 50 things that'll give you a return of 10 plus. It's an unfucking limited source. Fuck. It's, how many stocks and REITs and funds. It's unlimited. But nobody knows. None of them know, man. I listened to a guy call in yesterday on Dave Ramsey. It's what kind of encouraged my video I did the other day. This is important. If you got to go. He said he had retired. They were giving him his 401k, and he had like $1.1 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. It is. $1 million is a lot of money, man. I'd rather have 5 million, but hey, million's a lot of money. And he was going to put it all into what was it called? Annuity, where they were going to give him 6% for life. No, 4.7%. For the rest of his life, he was going to get a check for $4,200 a month. So you add that up, that's $44,000, $48,000 a year on his $1 million. So, dude, that's 4.5% on $1 million. And he's thinking this is good because then he doesn't have to have the trouble to think about it. Wow. It's like, man, come on, man. You could do a little research, man. And think about when you're in that situation and you turn everything over to pro. I don't want to think about taxes. I just know my tax guy, he's good. How do you know? How do you know he's good? He told you that? How do you really know? Like, you don't know what fucking taxes. How do you know your carpenter's good? I've met a lot of people after a guy did a job, they paid him, and like a year later, they're like, man, this is all jacked up. It's like, yeah, because he didn't know what he was doing, man. And if you would have looked at the tools he was using or the materials, you would have known that. Doesn't mean you have to be a carpenter to understand the difference between, say, plaster and drywall and flat paint versus semi-gloss and a pier and beam foundation versus a slab. Like, these aren't complicated. Like, not complicated. This is not complicated. It's called the S&P 500, Dow Jones, 9%. Like, these are available to us, man. That makes you a special person. So Starbucks, man, I have not trimmed this. I'm in a core holding, and it's just going up. I don't know what to say. I got a few of these. I got some headed down. BX is, I'm going to be honest, it's kind of hurt. I sent a text out yesterday to all my friends. I've always got something on the tip of my tongue. So as I'm watching the portfolio, we're global, man. This thing's all over the world. We got assets all over the world. Bitcoin's all over the world. Stocks all over the world. These things are everywhere, man. BX, this is value. What is the definition of wealth? An abundance of valuable possessions or money. The reason this stock is down is because their real estate trusted so well. Their REIT. Their REIT's done really well compared to other REITs. The returns have been massive. So people are taking their money out. Well, look at these other REITs. You might think that's confusing, but look at some of these others, man. AG&C's a REIT, right? Well, let's look at O. You know, they've done okay, right? But the BX one is a private one. It's done really well. So people are taking their money out. That's a shock to the stock. There's a limit on how much you can take out, apparently, in the fund's bylaws. So they follow the rules, and that freaked people out. I'd be buying a little bit. You know, I obviously don't know the future. I've ridden with that stock now for 12 years. It's done me well. I didn't buy any on this dip, but in all disclosure, because I have too much of it. It's my largest holder. And right now, I'm more interested in a few other plays that I would like to get more shares in. Haynes Brands being one, a few others. Hasbro was one that I hit today. Put some money into Delta today. A lot of things have run. I'm looking at what is it, AJ? Yeah. I was hoping to get into Activision, but I've missed this run. So it's not going to happen. This is one we talked about, though. Ooh, Paul bought 100 shares. Bam. Coming in heavy. Let me get 10,000 shares of BX, please. That's it, man. That's all I got. That's my big thing. Keep an eye on Delta. If you want to fly the friendly skies with me, I think you're about to see it. Go, 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 go. I don't have any insider information. This is just intuition, watching the charts and feeling the stage 3 that's developing and watching the indicators cross. We got a little bit of divergence with the indicators, and it's undervalued by 40%, and the previous high is $42, baby. So I think it could make a run for it. We'll see. You guys be good. I appreciate you, man. I gotta get new helpers, man. All right, man. Appreciate you too.